Thank you so much for tuning in. We already got 116 people in here. What's up, Jill? How you doing? Lily May, Sean Hung, Ant Carr, Brandon Becker, M. James, my man. So nice to see you. I almost just said in person, but so nice to see your face the other day, man. I really appreciate everything you do for me. Ernie, what's going on? Tyler, what's good? Jeff Norman, excited for this one. Me too, man. Me too. MJC, what's going on? What's up, Truth Team? Tyler, Wesley K, holding since January 29th. Nice. Jackson, I'm a huge fan. Thanks for all you do. Oh, I appreciate that, Paul, man. It is my pleasure. My pleasure. Just please hit the like button. Please subscribe. That's all I ask while I send out this tweet so we get a couple more people in here. And then we're going to get this show on the road. Bigums, how's your day going, brother?
Doing good, man.
Nice, nice. What's up, Debbie Smith? I love you. I love you too.
What you been up to today, man?
Good. Dad, Jackson, you are a legend. Oh, I appreciate that, man.
I agree, man. I agree.
I just want the little people to win for once. That's all.
Yeah, it's insane that it's 99% and the 1. I mean, think about that.
Yeah. But we're greedy, though. The 99% is greedy. That's what we are.
Yeah, and Gensler's buddy there, isn't it our fault? Are we stealing from the funds? Got to knock it off, dude.
We're the ones that are depleting the pension funds. That's us.
Yep. Or crashing the economy. Whatever she's on, I'd like to smoke it.
Heck yeah, M. James. I appreciate you, man. Hey, Jackson celebrated a Green Day. Yep. Me and Bigums were just saying it's Green Day for AMC and GME. BDSM, I honestly don't even know if that's a ticker. You're probably just trolling me from what Astro was talking about. I pay attention to 2 stocks, man. We're going to start this off in the next 30 seconds here. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a lot of cool stuff. I've been homies with Bigums, internet homies, for a good couple months now. And the guy is just super intelligent, great person. And that's why I brought him on. And he has a lot of pertinent info to share to AMC stock, and it really applies to a lot of stocks, not just AMC. So AMC Bigums goes hard with the DD all day. I love it. Of course, Jackson, you the man. That's right. He really does go hard. All right, Bigums, you about ready to kick things off, brother?
Yes, sir. You ready?
Cool. Yeah. Hey guys, this is Jackson Hunter. I think you might recognize me since you're on my channel. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And also subscribe to AMC Bigums YouTube channel. He just started it recently, about a month or 2 ago. Let's get him into 1,000 subs. Follow him on Twitter at AC Bigums. It's missing an M just because it was already taken. And by the way, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. AMC Bigums is not a financial advisor, and he's not giving financial advice, okay? We're simply talking about data that is publicly available to everybody, okay? So we're going to be talking about AMC. We're going to be talking about ISDA Phase 5. It's coming up on Wednesday. So what are the implications of that? And then we're going to be talking about nscc-2021-005 and whatever AMC Bigums wants to talk about. And then at the end, we'll open it up for a Q&A, just a couple questions from the live chat. So Bigums, can you give a brief introduction to yourself, brother?
Yeah, man. I mean, started on Reddit in February. Started talking about dark pools and doing a lot of dark pool research back with Mikey Danks. And then most people obviously know me from the bonds thing, but luckily we corrected that. But other than that, man, you want to just get right into it?
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's get to it.
Sounds good. Not trying to correct you or nothing, but actually it starts tomorrow, not on Wednesday.
Oh,
So,
does it start tomorrow?
yeah, look at the timer, my friend.
For some reason, I thought it was September 1st.
Oh wait, it should be September. Oh yeah, I'm retarded, my friend. It is Wednesday. I'm sorry. We'll correct ourselves. But obviously right now you got the countdown here.
Yeah, either way, it's a day or two away.
Yeah, it's whenever this countdown's going. So basically, like you said, we're not financial advisors. All this is just for education. But what phase 5 is it's actually going to be affecting ISDA members. It's going to be a new margin requirement. And if you don't know what ISDA is, it's actually the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. And this actually goes worldwide. It's not just in the United States. Right now, there's actually 925 members, and it's mainly consisted of giant market makers and basically the biggest banks in the world. I did a video earlier with Randall Cornett on this, and we referred to the Big Short scene where they went in to go get an ISDA contract. And you remember the guy like laughed him out of there because he said, you need $1.5 billion just to fill out an application.
When they were in the lobby, yep.
Yep, and that's when they found I think it was Steve. No, not Corrales. Wasn't it Steve Corrales' notes or whoever it was? They found the notes in the lobby. But basically, so ISDA, like I said, it's the largest, full of the largest people. And what most people don't know about the stock market is right now we're in what's called a central bank regime, and there's only been 2 other regimes in the entire stock market before that. And as you can see, so the central banks are actually what's in charge, and they actually like basically oversee the stock market. They kind of decide the changes, and obviously you can see that by the DTCC, and it's all. I mean, if you look at the members, I can pull it up here real quick, but I mean, it's basically all out. I'm sorry, it's basically all bankers. Pull this up real quick. Oh, okay. I don't know why it's doing this. Usually never does this. But yeah, basically it's just all out associates of banks. Let's see here. So basically what's going on is these banks are, let's pull this thing up here quick. I'm gonna pull up an image. So what phase 5 is it's basically a new margin requirement, and it's going to affect people that have over 50 billion in over-the-counter derivatives. And that affects people like Citadel, Virtue, just to name a few. That's why they're fighting it so hard. And currently right now, there's only 19 people that have this, as you can see on this little picture here. This is actually right off their ISDA's website. If you go on the site I'm on right here and you go all the way to the bottom, in the background here, it's actually just right on the bottom if you want to check it out. But currently there's only 19 people that are affected. And tomorrow, or on the 1st here, you can see it goes up to 314 people, which is a major big deal because obviously you're going from basically like 4% of ISDA to over, a 37, 38% around. So that's going to affect a lot of people. And what this is going to change here is currently the way this works. Let me pull this picture here. This is how over-the-counter options works currently. So we have the first person here in this box. This is going to be a person who writes what's called an ISDA master agreement. And the second box here is going to be the person who buys that.
And Bigum, just to interject real quick, flex options are a way that the institutions have been kicking the can, or how are flex options? How do they play into this?
Oh, we'll get way into all that in a second here.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll get deep into that. I just want to show the flow, and then we'll go right into that actually. So,
dang, brother, sorry.
Oh, you're fine, man. No worries. So basically, this is the flex option is formed between 2 people, and as you can see, it doesn't go to the exchange. It actually goes to what ISDA, and ISDA actually posts the trade, and they say it's public data that you're able to go get that and see the agreements. But me and Randall have been we've been emailing people for like crazy for the last couple months trying to get that, and all they do is, oh, you got to talk to this guy, the classic runaround. So I highly doubt. Yeah, exactly. It's public, but you got to go and jump through hoops to get it.
Yeah.
But so right now, what they're doing is you have this is the agreement between these two parties. And what they're doing is you can put on synthetic puts, which we'll get to in a minute on this lawsuit, but you can make synthetic puts with them. You can make flex options, and you can do what is called conversion trades. But basically what they're doing is they write an agreement, and all they need to do currently before this phase 5 kicks in is they attaches what is called a credit annex support. And all that does is show at the time of the trade that you have enough collateral that you can attach and afford the trade. And I mean, this can be anything between swaps, bonds, cash, US Treasury bonds, which is, now you can see kind of how the repos come into play. But right now, what they'll do is they write that credit support annex, they attach it to the master agreement, and they don't have to deposit or do anything with that that collateral that they attach to the agreement. So they can use that currently, that collateral, they can just keep attaching it to an agreement and an agreement and an agreement and just keep using it over and over and over. So right now, as you can see, so right now you got two people that write this agreement, right? There's not a third party that oversees this. So let's see here. Let me go down here quick. Sorry, I'm getting off topic here. I'm about to get into all sorts of other stuff here. Let me just go down through the flow here. So let me actually pull this next one up. So what phase 5 is going to currently do. So like I said, nobody currently oversees this trade. It's basically an over-the-counter handshake. They write it down and then they attach the agreement, but they do 100% of the terms. And what phase 5 is going to do to the chart. All right, so when phase 5 starts, what's going to happen now is they're going to actually have to deposit that collateral. So they can't just sit there and attach a credit support annex to it and then just use it over and over and over. They actually have to deposit that. And what we're going to go over next is the Overstock lawsuit. And one of the big problems that they're able to do currently with nobody watching them is they're able to make these synthetic shares. And like somebody will say, hey, basically you have to have bona fide market maker status to do this. So everything I'm telling you right now currently in the system is legal. But when we go over the Overstock lawsuit, the only reason this guy got caught was he wasn't a bona fide market maker. So they ended up charging him with doing the abilities that bona fide market makers have. So everything I'm telling you about, like a lot of people are gonna be like, why aren't they doing anything? Right now, it's currently legal to do all this stuff. So I just wanted to point that out too, by the way, quick. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Thank you. So once this phase 5 starts now, so you're gonna actually have a third party oversee the trade. So they're gonna actually make sure that the person writing the agreement and the person buying it is actually sending the shares, and the other person's actually receiving them. Because currently there's a lot of times, like I said, that they'll say, we'll get to why they do this later on, but there'll be a lot of times where one guy will be like, yeah, I just sent this guy 100 shares. Or the thing about flex options too is there's no position limit attached to them, and it's over the counter. So they can open up one flex option with unlimited contracts. Basically, it's still 100 per contract, but they can have unlimited contracts or whatever they agree upon.
So they never had to locate the shares before.
Yeah. Currently, right? Yeah, right, exactly. Like right now. So like to simplify this. So like, let's say you're a bank, because like I'll just say a bank, right? You're one of the rich banks in ISDA, and I'm like I'm a high up market.
Will be soon enough.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's say I'm a high up market maker, and because those basically the only people that are getting into these ISDA agreements are obviously ISDA members. So it's basically just banks and market makers. So the banks, we all hate, everyone hates hedge funds, but these banks are allowing it. Like I said, it's a central bank regime. So they're in charge of like everything, man. And they're the ones writing these flex options. And basically like I said, they're able to exchange like swaps. And like in the last video, everyone's wondering, why are they buying these bonds and stuff? They're actually able to use these bonds and swap them in for stocks on ISDA agreements and during these flex options and things like that. So right now, like I said, there's going to be a third party, and it was just passed a little bit ago that the SEC good old SEC is actually going to be the third party to watch it. But at least somebody's watching it, because right now one of the main problems with what's going on over here is like these agreements they're done off exchange. They're completely between the two parties, so it's hard for these guys to track it, because a lot of times maybe they do a couple agreements and just kind of checking in the side. Are they really reporting into this? Who knows? You know what I mean? So without that third party to actually watch what's going on, I mean, these guys are taking complete advantage of this, and what this is doing is creating synthetic shares that we all talk about. Let's see, so let me go to the next little slide here. Actually, if you want to go ahead and talk about that Overstock lawsuit, so then they can actually understand before I go into another subject, so they can kind of understand how they're using these against us in AMC, because it goes over perfectly how they're using this against Overstock before.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want me to share my screen or just read it?
Whatever you want to do. Whatever, I mean, your show, man. Do your thing.
Okay, cool. So yeah, in the Overstock lawsuit, super interesting. Basically, they're doing a lot of the similar things now as they were doing in this lawsuit. But I'll read a quick excerpt about this. Let me share my screen. There we go. Okay, so this is from the Overstock lawsuit. If you guys don't recall, Overstock was heavily shorted, and I believe they actually issued a crypto dividend, and that was the short radicator. So or eradicator. So check this out right here. Hazan would obtain the necessary shares for delivery by buying from another market maker who was also selling short and who similarly never intended to deliver shares to Hazan. Meanwhile, Hazan would pair or hedge his new purchase with option trades, creating what the SEC called married puts or buy rights, sometimes using flex options. Okay, this is what Bigums is talking about right now. Even though Hazan's clearing firm, a firm such as Goldman Clearing or Merrill Clearing, would not receive actual delivery of the shares, it nevertheless would record the transactions as generating a closeout and a new long position. There was also an appearance of delivery of the purchased shares back to the other market maker who had never delivered them in the first place. In the end, Hazan would reestablish his previous short position, still naked, while succeeding in having the regulation show 13-day delivery clock in the clearing firm's eyes reset to day one. And I believe this is called a sham reset. Okay. And I believe it's happening a lot on AMC and GME, allegedly. As settlement dates approached again and again, Hazan would repeat this process until the options on the original reverse conversion trade expired or were assigned, thus finally closing out the short position and eliminating the synthetic long position that the short position had hedged.
So that's basically how they were using it against FTDs. But basically, they're doing the same thing now with shorts. I didn't know we had all that time, or I would have grabbed the next excerpt. But basically, they're doing it with shorts. What they're doing is taking these out, using the flex option, obviously getting the shares from them, filling in a short, doing basically the same thing in what these conversion trades are. So I'll explain to everybody what these terms are, so everybody kind of understands what's going on. So like I said, those flex options are basically an option. So they can get obviously shares right up front, and this is how they're able to fill shorts. Like we saw in the thing, they're able to use FTDs, but they give the impression. So what they're doing with shorts, it's called a sham closeout instead of a sham reset. A sham reset is how, if you are on that reg show, or if you're about to be on that reg show, you'll just do this so they A, don't get on it, or B, if they're on it, they'll just get right off it. But on the sham, it's called the sham closeout, and it's pretty much the same thing. I'll go back to like what I was saying before. So you'll say you got, hey, I sent you these option trades. I sent you these shares in these trades. Say you received it. I'll say I sent it. We never will do that transaction. And then once the options expire, so on their computer, both of our computers, basically, they just say, all right, there's no shares. So, hey, it was good. Everything's fine. They close out, and then it'll close out short position.
Hey, Bigums, do you want to share your screen again?
Oh, my bad, man.
No, you're totally good, brother. There it is.
Perfect. Alrighty. I was just saying, I suppose I'm just on the same thing. All right, so to explain those flex options now, basically, like we were saying, flex options are basically super flexible. But now what a Mary put is it's basically another word for synthetic long. And basically a synthetic put is an option strategy that combines a short stock position along with buying a long call option on the same stock to mimic a long put option. It's also called a synthetic long. And basically you're taking a short out at the same time. So you're shorting the stock while taking out a put, or sorry, you're shorting the stock while going long. So basically, once they use that with a reverse conversion trade, I'll read what that is. So basically, a reverse conversion trade is selling a put and buying a call, and you create a synthetic long position while at the same time you underline short the stock. So what that does is it attaches zero risk to the trade. So if you do all three combined, you now have a zero risk trade. They got the collateral that, whatever they want to throw down, their swaps, bonds, whatever, it shows zero risks on them. And currently there's no margin attached to it anyways, because it's just between the two parties. So they can never get margin called on these.
Got it.
So 1 second here. All right, so basically right now, so phase 5, like I was saying before, you're gonna have that third party, which will be able to stop that process. It'll make sure that the shares were delivered. So synthetics will be a lot harder to make going forward than they are right now.
And that's good for retail investors, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously anytime they make these synthetics, you're adding false supply, and stocks run off supply and demand. So if you're creating less demand and making more supply, you're going to lower the stock. So you're able to put it down that way.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you can see they're also shorting it at the same time, and then basically filling that short with these magic flex options. And I kind of talked to Dave Lauer. We're still trying to look into this, but like right now, since it's all off exchange, we're trying to see how it really affects. He said it would definitely affect the options chain, but we're trying to figure out if it would affect daily volume. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be so hard because it's not being reported any of those exchanges and stuff. And I don't know at what point, because you saw the flow chart. I don't know at what point it hits. We can't figure out at what point when it actually hits the consolidation tape. So if it doesn't even hit the tape, man, I don't know if they're recording all this stuff. And like I said, if you look in that lawsuit and one of the very next bottom things, this is all legal because they're market makers. If you're a bona fide market maker, you have this abilities. And that's the thing, man. Like they have other abilities that we don't even know about. We only know about these ones because he got caught. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So who knows what else they're capable of doing right now? I mean, we're going to have to keep digging. That's why I sit there every day. And right when I get up, I look at every violation. Because, I mean, if anybody wants to, do your own research or DD, just look at SEC past violations. That's the best way to do it because you're going to see what they did, and then you're going to see how they used it, like exactly everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But obviously the fines are never going to be what they should be, but that's a different story for a different day.
That's called cost of business.
Yeah, exactly. That's Gary's little handoff is what I like to call that one. But so once this release, so basically what I think this is gonna do going forward, because like I said, you're gonna now see less synthetics. But obviously this is the richest of the rich. So they're gonna have a ton of money, a ton of collateral still. So I don't expect it. And I mean, we're still talking about the government. And I mean, when does the government honestly like do something and make sure it's done right on time? I mean, they take their sweet time, dude. So give it a couple days. And on top of that, like one of the things that most people don't talk about, everybody wants that instant, like instant action right now by the FCC. But like, if you actually look at the total over the counter derivatives, dude, it's in the. I mean, there's so many different reports, so I don't want to give a number. I'll just give you a range, and the fact that the range is being reported so widely is already a problem in itself. But like, you'll see anywhere from like reports from 2020 that it's all, it's at 16.8 trillion. But I've seen other things, with the banks over the counter as well. It's over 610 trillion. So it's like, this is actually like a major problem that has been just unsupervised for so long. It's been so reliant on, their word. And then you find out whose word it is. It's the same idiots that did, the 2008 collapse. And we're sitting there trusting them again. And it's unbelievable, man. But so what I'm expecting going forward here, again, like I was saying, is you actually start seeing in a couple weeks a true price action, because they're gonna start running out of these synthetics, and then they're gonna start, they're gonna be able to keep opening these options for a couple weeks too, like I said, because they still have a ton of money. But eventually they're gonna be like, all right, we're putting so much money into it now compared to before, when all I needed to do was slap a credit annex on it. And like I said, they usually just gave them a 10% fee. Well, who cares? They're gonna make, they made more than that off shorting the stock alone, and then, so it's basically, like you said, cost of business. It doesn't cost them anything currently. So this actually would be a huge I think it should be a pretty big catalyst for us going forward.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the other thing I forgot to talk about that was, I think is actually pretty sweet here, is if you actually look at this, next year it actually goes up again. So there's still more phases taking place, because like I said, I mean, this problem has been unchecked for who knows how long, dude. And these guys are just borrowing. I mean, eventually, obviously, it's going to come to like a crashing halt. I mean, I don't know who in the world doesn't believe, a market crash is coming pretty soon, or at some point. I mean, it's got it, dude. You can't borrow forever. And I mean, they're borrowing from the richest of rich, and they love their money, dude. That's why they're the richest people. So they're not going to let these guys keep doing this forever. But like I said, there's only 925 people currently, but by this time next year, 775 people are going to be affected by this, because it goes all the way down to 8 billion. Go ahead.
I mean, just compare it to phase 4. The threshold was nearly $1 trillion, down to only 50 billion coming up in the next day or two. And so that's gonna increase the number of groups by 1,500%, dude. 19 groups to 314. It's gonna affect a whole lot of new members, and so that's only a good thing in my eyes for retail.
Oh yeah, it just keeps getting better, man. And obviously,
then next year it goes down to 8 billion. So
yep, exactly. And I mean, you're talking, like I said, there's only 925, and who knows if a lot of these people are going to keep doing this. But let me pull up some of these things too that I didn't go over before here either. So like back with the banks and stuff, just to show here. What wrong thing? Too many tabs open. So like just to show people, like we were going over some SEC filings. Like, I mean, I could pull the filings up if you guys really care, but it showed a lot of people that were like retiring or coming off the DTTC. So they're basically like no longer going to deal with them. But this right here is one of the people that, there's 3 people that caught my eye, but one of them was this PBN Paribas, and they're the largest bank in Europe, in France.
Yeah.
So the reason that caught my eye is when me and Randall, we look at flex options and stuff, a lot of these things are coming out of France. They're using the EFTs, but the France version. And we could sit there and, I mean, I can pull up this. So you can actually look at some flex options. These aren't the flex options, but if you look at my chart here before, there's called listed flex options. So basically, like, this is your big boys up top here. And then this is going to be like your market maker writing these with like brokers and firms, like hedge, smaller hedge funds, people that can't make the list.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But all that goes to SIBO, and all that actually is, it's backed by those. I mean, that's all legitimate stuff. But it's just when you get to that super big boy stuff, like I said, you get to this thing and you're no longer even reporting all this stuff. So that's when it gets nuts. So like I said, a lot more people are going to end up coming down to here, hopefully. Let's see here, but this bank here, obviously, there you go with the regulation show. I mean, if you come on here and actually read down, basically what they were doing, that they were charged with, and just some people were on FTDs and they were doing basically the same thing, writing things saying, hey, we were giving them these shares, they received them, no one ever got them back. And that's the thing, man, when they do this, they're making money like crazy off everything that they take out on the option. And then a lot of the time, like, they're getting to short it for free because everything's, like I said, with this conversion trade, everything's riskless and stuff. So it's like I said, you just got to slap a piece of paper on it, basically. So you keep taking them out. And it's just like I said, if the 600 trillion, like I said, the report's been so different. I don't honestly want to say a number, but if it is that high, like I said, it wouldn't doubt me, man. Or I wouldn't doubt it, to be honest with you. I mean, these guys, like I said, they're just beyond retarded. And it's the same people. We basically, or like before that crash even happened, like I said, it's a central bank regime, and they're the ones who are causing all the stuff happening in 2008. Now they're in charge of the stock market, dude. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But let's go back to. Sorry, man, I got so much stuff opened up here. It's crazy. Yeah, so like I said, I feel like going back to AMC and stuff. So I feel like we're going to start seeing, like some true price action going forward. But like I said, maybe in a couple weeks. But who knows? In the end of the day, it seems like I said, I believe it. Doesn't mean I'm right. But just the fact that they can't open up unlimited flex options like this, married puts, synthetic shorts. I mean, that's the thing. They're basically synthetic shorts at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that alone hurts us completely. And let's get into the NSC 2005. I mean, does anyone have any questions quick on your chat on phase 5 at all? Like, I don't really know what else to go over on that other than, like I said, the major things going forward are going to be the fact that they got that third party watching. They actually have to deposit it, not just have a credit report annex slapped on it.
Yeah, guys, in the live chat, do you have any more questions about ISDA phase 5? Let your questions rip about ISDA phase 5. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the next subject real quick.
Yeah, and like I said, right now, currently, before this, imagine a stock market with no margin requirements. That's basically what this was before phase 5. It's basically a secondary stock market with, basically no rules, because they're just, everything's on their own terms. It's crazy, man. It's like I said, it has no margin requirement currently, other than the 19 whole people it affects currently before the first here.
Okay, so Sean PA says, well, first let me answer this one. Will Person Jackson, who is keeping official track of all synthetics? Who holds hedgies accountable? So it's the people that allowed them to create the synthetics in the first place.
Exactly.
It's the regulatory bodies, but that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. That what matters is that they created them and that the apes bought them. So we are holding them, the apes, in our accounts. So we have them. It's
exactly.
Recent data analysis just speculated that there are around 1.5 billion to 4.5 billion shares in existence. Now, how does that happen if the float's only $500 million? Well, you have to have synthetics in that case. The other question was, let's see.
Here, I'll pull up that little chart too, just so people can again see. Oh, and I didn't really go over this part yet. What they're also trying to do, and it's kind of no one's really talking about it either because it's just a little. I mean, I think it could be big, but I doubt they'll do it. So basically, these flex options I found out they're basically for 5 years. Currently, is like the max that they'll allow them, but that's still that's a long ass time. But currently, what they're trying to do is like use the here. Actually, I got the filing right here. Let's pull it up.
Someone just asked, did Bigham's Bigums, don't answer this. Someone just asked, does Bigums have option contracts? Why does it matter? I've played options. I've played shares. We all like, why does it matter? So that, man, it's just sometimes when I see questions that are like asking about other people's financial position, I just put my palm on my head, man. Like, you guys got to stop asking about other people's money, man. I don't even know Bigum's position either, and we're like good homies, but you got to focus on your own money. I promise you. Like, even if you make a lot of money on the MOAS or however this thing plays out, but you're still focused on other people's money, you're probably going to lose yours. I promise you. So I say that to help you guys out, but sorry.
Not only that, no, you're good, man. Not only that, like, dude, you know, stock market's so emotional, you know what I mean? So don't get emotional over little things like that. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about options if I play them, but I will say this about options. They are risky. They're very risky. I mean, anyone that you watch is going to tell you they're risky. And anyone you watched, I don't care how I hit all the time. You've also lost, and you've probably lost big a couple times. I mean, it happens, man. It's a gamble in the end of the day. And on top of that, you're doing it with a manipulated stock. But I will say this, because a lot of people have a bad impression on them. And if done correctly, they can help, because they do. If you are getting in the money, I mean, basically, dude, they need each other. Like, they're both equally as important. If you're not going to buy the shares, the stock's not going to move up as much. You still need the shit. They need each other, basically. And eventually, they're going to, if you're getting the amount of shares, that's why I say, if you don't know what you're doing with them, you're better off getting shares, because you have no expiration date. And if you think a MOAS is coming and, you know, you're going to make 10 grand or whatever you believe, why wouldn't you just get a share anyways? But if you don't, because I mean, there is, you know, but if you do know what you're doing, I mean, guys, don't try and scold anyone that plays options. If they know what they're doing, they can be very, very profitable, and they do help, because you do end up having to hedge for out of the money calls that end up going in the money. So I mean, it all helps. They can have gamma squeezes. I mean, like I said, if you don't know what you're doing, I very, very highly suggest don't take them on. Like, if you like, don't play like, oh man, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to, you know, play your money, but the market makers do write 40% of these options. So when you do these out of the, you know, weekly crazy out of the call or out of the money ones that don't hit, you're giving it straight to them. That's all I'll say about it. So I mean, like I said, just be, like I always say, man, just be smart when you invest. I mean, just do your own research on everything. If you feel comfortable playing options and you make money, do it. If you know what you're doing, do it. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't yell at the people that do know what you're doing. I mean, like I said, like he said, man, don't go into everybody's money, because it's just something to get you upset about. And we're already all emotional.
It'll screw you up in life if you focus on other people's money. But let's continue on, man.
Yeah. Do you want me to go to the next topic, or do you want to grab another question? What do you think?
Yeah, let's go to the next topic.
All right.
Oh, well, real quick, question. How will your information affect AMC stock? You want to take that, Bigums?
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, going forward here, I mean, they're not going to be able to create these synthetics like unlimited and uncrazy. They're not going to be able to sit there and not actually send these shares and say that they received them just because they're a bona fide market maker. I mean, like I said, think about that. He got caught from doing this because he wasn't a bona fide market maker. If he got caught being a bona fide market maker, this is all okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a massive, it's a lot bigger deal than people think. And like I said, they're basically have a secondary market with no margin requirement, only for 19 people. Could you imagine if the stock market had no margin requirement? Think about that. No one had a margin requirement, just 19 people.
I mean, that's almost like how it's been.
Yeah, that's
not
true.
Too far off.
everyone that's not retail. Okay, let me rephrase that. Imagine if no one in retail ever had a margin, dude. We'd be just jacking shares like mad, dude. That's what they're doing in this market. So I mean, like I said, they're opening all these things up. They're creating synthetics. I mean, eventually now it's going to stop, because they're going to put in, and I think this is going to help start a catalyst, because they're only going to keep putting in so much money now that they have to deposit it into shorting AMC, because eventually they're going to look at it and be like, all right, with how much we have shorting into it, how much we have depositing into collateral into it, eventually you're going to start losing money. And these guys still have clients. And that's what a lot of people don't think about is they got clients. And if they're not getting returns, just like in The Big Short, when that old cranky dude sat down and was like, he's yelling at, what's his name? I can't think of Christian Bale. He's screaming at him, he's like, give me my money, give me my money. I mean, that's what's going to start happening to these hedge funds if they don't start making profits on these plays. So
yeah,
it's going to help MOAS, but like I said, it's still the government. It's still going to take a little bit. So I mean, be patient, but they are doing something. So I mean, like I said, you can see even in come next year. I mean, you're talking about 725. It could be higher by next year. And by the time next year comes in, if they're doing so much more stuff, I'll just call it stuff. I mean, they could obviously kick it up and everything too. Phase 6 will be nice next year. Let's just say that.
Yeah. I'll probably be out of the stock market for sure by then. But
yeah, I hear you, man. Hopefully we're done after this one.
You want to continue on? What's the next order of business? Payment for order flow?
Yeah, because a lot of people, let's just go over some brokers and things like that here real quick. And then what I'd like to do is this little chart here. So I made this little chart here because a lot of people every day, so I'll just bring up dark pools real quick because a lot of people, they sit there and every day they focus on like, what's the dark pool percentage? It's 70, which that's the thing. Like we got to do something about that. I mean, the one thing I feel like a lot of people don't understand is this, there's stock market plays and then there's short squeeze plays and they're different styles of trades. You want to handle them and do them differently. So what I mean by that is like, all right, obviously the stock market, you're trying to do options. You're just trying to make money at all times. In a squeeze play, you're trying to basically take all your opponent's liquidity away, so they have to cover or they'll get margin called. It's a huge play. So you want to sit there and attack their liquidity. And that's why I sit there all the time and talk about payment for order flow, because it's like it's right in front of everybody's eyes, man.
I know.
So I'll explain this now quick. So this is basically the flow chart on if you use a payment for order flow platform and if you don't, or if you go straight to the lit exchange. So this top one here, we'll go over this real quick. So let's say you have, I'm going to say them all, and this goes for public because we've actually done research in public, and I just want people to know that because a lot of people, before I even get into this chart, you guys got to make sure if you're not ordering to an exchange, let me pull up this one real quick. This one's actually pretty important if we're not going to, here you go. All right. So pretend you're on Fidelity because I'm going to name these people because they're not payment for order flows. But if you order on them, they have the same path.
Yeah.
So pretend you're on Webull, Fidelity, even Public, because if you read on Public's execution page how they work, it says they send it to a market center via AATF. Well, that's a dark pool. So they might not get payment for order flow, but they send it to one of the market makers, whoever's giving them the best, whoever's giving them the best venue. So basically, they're just looking for the best execution at this point, as you can see. So like, let's say you order Fidelity on your phone. It might not be payment for order flow, but more than likely, guess who's got the best execution and the fastest speed?
Institutions.
Out of those. Yeah. And the market maker, man.
Yeah.
They're going to win it every time. So basically, you're taking the same path. And what I mean by that is, if you come over here, back to this one, is you're going to now take the top path, because now what's happening is your trade is becoming an over-the-counter trade. And this is why Dave Lauer talks about the over-the-counter market, because the over-the-counter market is the second, like it's the main problem. It's more of a problem than payment for order flow. This over-the-counter market, man, is basically payment for order flow fuels it. That's all it really does. It just lets it keep going because it lets these market makers control these orders. They're always making money off every single penny we're doing. They're controlling the flow. And on top of that, they can sit there, and I'll show you how they suppress the price. Well, this is our theory. And I mean, obviously we can't prove or deny it, but I've had people who, are very intelligent I talk to a lot of people that I feel like are very intelligent before I say anything, because after the bond thing, man, I don't like to say, put anything else unless I go through these guys first. But they say that this is very possible. It, it's possible, and they have worked in the system. Let me say that, for just a very long time. So I have 100% faith in these people. But basically, what happens is you have a broker, and that's Webull, like I said, Fidelity, any of them. What they're gonna do now is they're gonna send us, like I said, all these are. I'm not accusing anyone. This is all, like I said, not financial advice or anything like that. It's just theory. But so you have broker, and then what they're gonna do now is called a riskless principal trade with a clearing broker like a Citadel Securities or something of that nature. Now, at this moment, if they do what's called a riskless principal trade, and that's what's basically is they're going to the clearing broker, and the clearing broker is basically has the shares internalized, so there's zero risk. Obviously, if I have the shares internalized, there's no risk attached to me taking the trade. I have the shares, so they'll take the riskless trade. It doesn't go to the tape at this point. Now, what Citadel Securities will do, or sorry, the clearing broker dealer, they'll send it what is called a electronic market making dark pool. And if you look here on the bottom, prices are not calculated from the MBBO, so their price is discovery. Basically, these things have, so there's banking dark pools, and there's electronic, there's all sorts of dark pool types. I mean, we could go into that for quite a long time, but they use what's called an electronic market making dark pool. And they send that to the market maker themselves in a block trade. And obviously, since it's going through dark pools, this is how the percentages are so high every day. It's 65, 70, is because now, since it's going through the dark pool, the volume's recorded to the tape, but obviously, what are the purposes of dark pools?
They're for institutions to make large orders, block orders.
Yeah, to be protect from algorithms, and they also
better execution.
Yeah, but what do they do to price impact?
What's that?
Yes, but it's a way to also suppress price impact at that moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. Short and distort, baby. Short and distort.
So now, like I said, so at this point, it's now recorded on a tape. So it's on the volume, but it's going through a dark pool. Now the market maker has it, and at this point, they can internalize it, fill the order, go through, they have all these other platforms now that a lot of people are discovering too. You got, one-sided trading platforms, so where they can just send it to other people that if they don't want to take a side of it, there's all sorts of stuff they can do if they don't want to fill that order themselves. But at that point, obviously, the market maker already did his fuckery. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. But so on the bottom here, now let's go through. All right, so if you actually order to a lit exchange, this is what it does. This is your path. So it goes to your broker. It goes straight to the lit exchange. At this moment, you can see it sends to the public data feed, and it's recorded to the tape, and then the exchange receives it. So basically, that moment where they can do this is completely taken out of the equation. Now, your exchange is going to route it, and a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people remember this like a month ago. Let's see if I still have it pulled up here. No. All right, so a lot of people, a couple weeks ago or a month ago or whatever, they're talking about how, Citadel, blah, 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 Virtue, all these guys, yes, they are liquidity providers for these exchanges.
Yeah.
But people got to understand, that's what a market maker does. They're literally out there to bring liquidity to the market. But there's a major difference at this point, because now, basically, the exchange are going to get it, but they're still going to send it over to the market maker, whoever is going to take it on the other side to fill the order. But like I said, now it's already recorded at this point. So then at that point, the liquidity member will, you might have Citadel or Virtue or whatever take the side of your trade again, but it's already recorded on the tape, so it cannot go through a dark pool. It cannot do it. It is impossible. And this is why we say all the time to go through lit exchanges. And I put up, a couple pictures where, it's on the second ticker. And the second I push the order in, you'll see, you know, the small little, you see the volume, it's on the public thing. That's how you see that volume. And it's like when you do liquidity plays, or I'm sorry, these short plays, you want to sit there and get every little catalyst, you know, that you can do to put pressure on them. And this is a way that we can start taking all these orders out of the dark pool. We don't even have to worry about sitting there yelling at the SEC to do all this stuff. Why? When have you ever relied on the government and they've helped you out? Like they actually did something in your favor or did it on time. You know what I mean? They're going to take their sweet time, as you can see already, or they're going to keep allowing it because they're keeping getting their payout.
Yeah.
So it's like, take a drink real quick, man.
Yeah, but the apes are evolving. The apes are educating themselves, so it's a good thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just wanted to make a flow chart because I feel like, you know, you can talk to people, but flow charts like this, I feel like, you know, visually seeing what the course that it goes, because a lot of people, you can say it, but they still don't understand the route that it takes. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
So like a little flow chart like this, I feel like people could understand a little bit more. So I mean, because like I said, man, yesterday, even today, there was at one point where we were at like 71% in dark pools in the morning.
Yeah, and we're still up 11% at one point.
Yeah, so it's like imagine. See, I feel like AMC wants to pop, and obviously one of the problems is it's like,
of course,
you can't. You know, one of the problems is we have so many people. There's so many people to reach, and that's why, you know, everybody educate yourself on what, you know, going to lit exchange does more than this compared to that. Because like I said, why even bother putting it in their hands at all? And another thing about this too is, so as you can see on this chart, well, okay, let's say you're on, I don't know, a payment for order flow platform. I'm not gonna name them any off, but you're on one you went to sell. Well, who, you know, and it sends it to, guess who's our enemy? Like one of the clearing brokers who's in bed with, oh yeah, the market maker. So when you sit there and go, you know, a lot of people understand, because I mean, think about times, I mean, people still use Robinhood and it's insane, but think of, you know, if you're still on Robinhood, think of a moment you've ever went and put an order in and it sat there and just said pending. What do you think is going to happen, dude? When the market maker's got your order and you're trying to sell MOAS and it's against him personally, he could delay your order a little bit for half a second to keep pending, so you could lose out on money. And on top of that, anything sent to an exchange, if you're selling, I mean, we're not even just talking about buying, I mean, at this point, but if you're going to sell, I mean, if you send all your orders to an exchange, your order will be filled first because there's no middleman, as you can see. There's no clearing broker involved. It's just the exchange on the tape, and it could, you know, even, you know, if it's squeezed, you never know how it's going to be. Anyone can tell you they're going to, oh, it's going to squeeze like Tesla. Oh, it's going to squeeze like Volkswagen. Who knows, dude? You know what I mean? You never know. So
yeah,
let's say it does squeeze like Volkswagen, or let's say, you know, it's just a 8-9 hour squeeze, something crazy, and it gets up like 20K per second and just drops right back. You never know, man. You know, a couple minutes on an order, or, you know, a couple seconds on an order, it could jump, you know, it could jump up $500, $600, $700, $1,000. Who knows? You could lose a lot of money not just doing something that simple as well. So that's another reason why I tell this, because I want everybody to make as much as they can. I don't want anyone's order. You guys have been in this ship for so long. I mean, think about how much emotion everybody's put into this. And could you just imagine come sell time and they fuck with your shit, and you know they're like, you know they're gonna if they can, man. You know they're gonna. Why wouldn't they? They fuck around with everything else. So that's just one of the reasons why I also preach payment for order flow. I just want everybody's money to be protected, because like I said, matter of seconds, if a lot of people are selling when it hits their number, a matter of seconds could be, if you have a lot of shares or anything, it could be a lot of money for you. But just wanted to educate people a little bit on payment for order flow. And if you do want to know like what platforms to use, or if you know platforms and you know ways to do it, please send them to me, because I like I said, I love showing people this answer, because like I said, it's another little catalyst that we can use against him. And why wouldn't you want it? If you know that they're using dark pools against you, why wouldn't you stop giving that opportunity? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the interesting thing is, I didn't know dark pools existed until like 3 or 4 months ago. And so, everybody's learning as we go, and you're learning that like this stock market is so opaque, and there's very few things in the stock market that are face value. You can't take anything at face value in the stock market. It's like there's so many different parameters, and when I was younger, I used to think if I buy 10 shares of Apple, that will make the price go up, like albeit a very small amount. But it's not as straightforward as that. If they send it to the dark pool, your order will never be shown on the chart. Well, not never, but immediately it won't be shown on the chart. So there's so many moving pieces to this system, and it makes you wonder, why do they make it so convoluted in the first place? And I speculate it's to keep the rich richer and to keep the poor poor, but that's just my guess, right?
Oh, I hear. I mean, like you said, man, it's so crazy because you got the stock market, you got the stock market, and then you got the over the counter. And everybody, this was the first, just in case anybody is using Rob, I just want to show you this because it was one of the things that I found right away and I was gone. Like I had it for one day, and if you click on one of your old buys and you go to the bottom, you can actually look at the PDF attached to your buy order. And if you scroll down to the bottom there, it'll say market type. And you're going to see over the counter on every single thing you've ever touched. Just so you know. And like I said, if it's going over the counter, you're allowing this. It takes this top path. And I know everybody hears about internalizers and over the counter. And like I said, I mean, a lot of people might not, like Dave Lauer, but I have, or, maybe think he's a shill, but I have a lot of respect about the guy's knowledge on the stock market. And
dude, I think people throw the word shill around way too much.
Way too much, dude. It's like
way too much, dude.
And like a guy like that too. I'm gonna stick up for the guy for a second because I mean, you gotta think too. This guy also is like, he owns that company, which is also trying to help out the retail. And I mean, he can't say all these things just like Adam Aaron can't.
Yeah.
He can't, he's got a reputation with a company too. So I mean, a lot of people don't like him because he can't answer the questions we want him to. But it's like I said, it's the same as Adam Aaron.
Yeah.
But obviously this ain't the Dave Lauer time, but still. Let's keep going.
I respect the heck out of the guy as well, man.
Oh, and I mean, the reason I brought him up is, like I said, one of the main things the guy preaches is this over-the-counter derivatives is so out of control. And it's like, and it's so out of control because, I mean, most people sit there and they'll say, hey, with these payment for order flow platforms, like, man, it's so nice. I got the charts, I got this, it's all at the touch of a finger. I don't need to deposit money, but of course, guys, they're gonna make it as easy as they can for you.
Exactly.
You're not gonna use the platform, and they can't control you then. It's all about control. As we can see, everything's about controlling this, controlling that. I mean, these guys spent hundreds of millions of dollars on these algorithms. And it's like, these things sit there and their sole purpose is to react to what is happening at the exact, whatever second, obviously like nanomilli, whatever you want to call it. Like they're so insanely stupidly fast. And they're just sitting there betting against us. Like that's their sole purpose. So it's like, don't let that thing, their sole purpose to control this also is, like I said, is do all this behind the scenes, and they're able to now use that data that none of us have put it into these algos so they can use it against us. Well, if we all go to the exchanges, guess what? We all have the same data these guys have. Think of how much better options, all these people that play options and love options so much. Why aren't you guys ordering to the Lit Exchange, man? Do you realize that gives you more? You get to see more. You're going to the public feed. It's going to help you guys make option plays I mean, I'm this is talking like if I mean not just AMC, this is everything. Like if you guys keep going in the stock market, just like I said, it's very valuable. They're never gonna make things in life that benefit you easy. They're gonna make you pay for convenience every single time.
Of
And
course.
that's what payment for order flow platforms are. It's all convenience because they know a lot of times with these other platforms, the way to get to the lit exchange is you're going to have to use a computer. And they go, well, people aren't going to do that. And it's like, well, that's true. So unless you're like, have that computer available to you, or if you're going to buy, and you're at home, that I mean, so I get that, but there are payment for order flow, or I'm sorry, there are platforms that you can actually send to the lit exchange on your phone. You just gotta, they're not as pretty. You gotta learn them. But one of the main ones that a lot of people I know use that from their phone is TD's Thinkorswim.
Oh, dude,
And
it's my favorite broker.
yeah, and what you can do here is, you got my screen here. Let me pull it up here. If you got Thinkorswim here, you can actually put in these limit orders. You actually have to do a limit order on there. And right here on the right tab, if you go down, is you can actually go right to the NASDAQ. And
Yeah,
like I said,
that's what I've been doing. I think you have to change. I forget what it is in your settings.
do you?
I think you got to log on to tdameritrade.com and just change your direct order routing. You can ask the customer service and they'll help you out though. But once you do that, then you'll be able to select NASDAQ. And that's what I've been doing.
Let me write that down too, so you do have to trade. Because yeah, like I said, if anybody else, want to get a hold of me and you know how to do it on another platform that I'm not going to mention here in a minute, please send it to me. Because like I said, any information I can give, any other platforms, people, the more choices, obviously, the better. And a lot of people, I get this question a lot too. Right after, it's like, all right, well, what should I do if I already, bought all my shares on one of these platforms? And like I said, I'm not going to ever tell anyone to transfer or do anything. I'm just going to, I'll ever tell anybody to buy or anything like that. I just try and give you guys information so you make your own choices. But especially since, if you're going to transfer, make sure you are going to look at your platform and how they route, or ask somebody, or make sure you can go to lit exchange. Otherwise, why are you wasting your time? But B, if you, like I said, if you trust your broker, even though I showed you the route it'll take, if you trust your route, don't listen to me. Don't worry about it. And like I said, do your thing, keep it and do what you want to do. But like I said, if you come sell time, it does take that top path. So like I said, me personally, I don't like to hand somebody who wants to steal from me the keys to my car
Yeah.
or to my house. So that's all I have to say.
I mean, in LA, if you give them the keys or not, they're going to steal it. But yeah.
And then so if you use Fidelity Trader Pro, this is what I use. You can actually click on, like you said, you go up here on the top and it'll just say settings. You'll see direct route. Come down there, click it down there, boom. And if you ever have the chance, and I say this every time, if you ever have the chance on any of these lit exchanges, I know you can use all these other ones, but send it to the NASDAQ, because every time, you can go on any second chart. And this is one thing I want people to do. If you are going to do this, if you have the ability to look at like the second chart, look at it, and you can literally watch your order go in. You'll see the little volume move in the candle, so it's actually going through. So it's always good, like I said, always do your own DD
for sure.
yeah. So always do your own DD. I always check it out, because like I said, you never know who's wrong. And either way, if you check it out, you see what they're talking about and you see it firsthand. Obviously, I always feel a lot better about what you heard as well. But
hey, Bigums, is that it, or do you have other things to share?
It's just gonna show. Oh, you gotta get going. It's just show. So like Charles Schwab. Here you go.
No, dude, I don't have to get going at all. Just real quick, somebody had a question. How much does Fidelity Pro cost a month?
It doesn't cost anything. You just gotta download it on your computer.
I'm pretty sure Fidelity. I'm pretty sure it's free. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything. You just gotta download it on your computer. It won't go on your phone. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's free, man. I use Fidelity.
I've never paid for it in my life. Yeah, it's free, dude. I've never paid for anything.
Yeah, for sure, Ernest. But yeah, continue on, Big. I'm sorry about that, brother.
No, dude. If anyone ever has a question, feel free, dude. But so here on Charles Schwab, you can do the same thing. You got to do a limit order. Boom. right in the menu. It says venue. Click right to the NASDAQ. And the last one I got here, let me see here, is, nope, sorry, I got so many tabs open. This one is, what did we say this was? This one is trading station. So if
Trade
you have,
station?
yep, you can do the same thing. You click up in the tab, you enable it. And right now, if you click on it, it's currently going to say smart. And if you ever have a platform like this and you use smart routing, that literally means you're using this. So just remember, if you ever use smart routing, guess where it's probably going to go? That market maker tab.
Yeah.
So back to that. So yeah, like right there. So like I said, come back in here. You can use the NYSE because I don't really think they have the. I don't see the NASDAQ. Yeah, they don't have the NASDAQ on. So yeah, just go straight to the NYSE. Like I said, any lit exchange and
You
all
could
lit
do-
exchanges. Go ahead.
Yeah, you could do NYC, you could do BATS, you could do Edge A and EDGX as well. But you can literally Google lit exchanges and there will be a list of them.
Yeah, and all lit exchanges, because a lot of people ask me that. It's just an exchange that reports to the public data feed. So
Yeah.
that's all it is. But yeah, so basically, like I said, here, this is just a way, like I said, just to recap, this is just a way to get, like I said, let's just get them out of the dark pool ourselves. Like, don't rely on other people, because like I said, they're all against us. You can see, what I'm saying? They're all against us, man. They're not coming to help if they, they have to. But obviously, so much stuff's getting exposed. I mean, you can see these changes because the changes are huge. And oh man, one second, let's move into the. We didn't even talk about the NS-005, dude.
Hey, Bigums, real quick, market versus limit order during the MOAS. Which one do you think would be best?
I mean, the thing is if if it's at like a crazy number and it's way above your number and you just want it to get filled quick, or
That
the
limit
quickest,
order, right?
yeah, just put a limit order, but put it in like a little bit under. You know what I
A
mean?
little
It'll
bit
get
under,
filled.
yep.
So it'll get filled instantly. So like if it's like, that's the one thing everybody should always have. Like whatever shares you have an exit strategy for them. Have a number in mind that you want to hit. Have like brackets are always smart. Like always have your and have a plan too. Like have your brackets. I'm not gonna give anyone an exit strategies because like everyone's got their own way. I don't want to sway anyone to do anything, but always have your exit strategies. It's just very, like I said, always invest as smart as you can. I mean, why not? Always make the smartest decision. So I mean,
So what do we got here? NSCC 2021-005.
yes, sir. All right. So what this is going to do is basically all these NSCC members have sub companies under them. And basically what this is going to do, this takes effect on the 3rd. Also, I'm sorry, I forgot to say that. This takes effect on the 3rd of this month. I'm sorry, September. And basically what this is going to do is everyone in the NSC has sub companies under them. And for each sub company, they have to have at least a minimum requirement of 250,000 per sub company per member. Now it can be, it can be a lot more because that's minimum. So basically what that goes off is how much of a risk you have attached to you. And if you have a whole bunch of past violations, they can sit, 250 minimum, they can make it millions if they want to. So if you want to pull that up, dude, show them that Excel sheet.
Yeah, for sure. I'll pull it up right now.
Let you take over, my friend.
So here are the list of the firms. There's a lot of them on here. Okay, so we can search right away. Citadel has 2, Citadel Clearing and Citadel Securities. You can see.
Now, like we said too, this also, it's 250K. A lot of people are like, oh man, no, only 500,000. That's not a lot. Remember, it goes off past violations. And if you look at how many past violations Citadel's had in the last couple of years, it's a lot. So they're not at 250K. I can promise you that.
Yeah, it's just the minimum. And then Virtue has 3, Virtue Americas LLC, Virtue Financial BD, Virtue ITG. Let's see, Bank of America. B of A has 1, 2, 3, 4. Bank of New York Mellon has over a dozen right here. So you guys get the point. Each institution or firm typically has a couple companies underneath them, and they will each have to meet these margin requirements. That's correct, right, Bigums?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Is there anything else you wanted me to show on this Excel?
No, I mean, if you want to, like, I think one of them, like Apox, has like, yeah, well, there's BlackRock.
Yeah, BlackRock has about 10 of them right there. What's
I
the
think-
other one? Apox?
I think it's Apox, something like that. It's got like 26 or something. Go up to the top. It's like Apex or something. It's something like that.
Oh, Apex Clearing?
I can't remember what it was, man. I've looked at so many.
Well,
No.
Apex Clearing has 2.
It might not be Apex. I think it's higher up, man. I think it's Apox, AX. No, I can't remember what it was. But if you just scroll down, you'll see a whole bunch. Like I said, there's some of these people, and they have like 26 of these sub members. So if they're shorting anything, they're gonna have a problem coming. That's for sure. I mean, look at that Arbor Court Capital. I mean, that's like 15.
Yeah, 20 for Arbor Court Capital.
So I mean, there's gonna be a lot of these people. Like, well, look at that. Elps, go down a little bit. Allstate's about to get fucked. Elps distributor, look how many they have, man. They're about to get fucked. Find out who they're be shorting. You know what I mean? Not financial advice.
Alps has 57.
57. That was
Yeah,
the one I was thinking of. It was Elps. I knew it was something like that. That was super. It had a super amount.
Oh wait, no, there's more. There's more.
Jesus.
Oh no, never mind. Okay, 57. 57.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, this is going to be another requirement now that Citadel is going to have to put these margins in that weren't in place before. So I mean, basically, what's happening? That's why there's a lot of catalysts, which is why I think it's going to be a pretty good month here that are coming forth with these things. And then, like I was saying, if we all start, get as many people as we can to those lit exchanges, man, I'm telling you, that's another catalyst. The catalyst that will get people, should raise the price to where we're now hitting those options that can also, I mean, it's all about starting that gamma or whatever that's going to be that one catalyst that's going to take it off from there. So it's like you want to do whatever you can to keep doing a little catalyst here, a little one here, a little one here. And like I said, if you don't have one coming up from the government, you always can make your own by going to the lit exchange. So we can always fight them. Because another reason too is, like I said, when they do those over-the-counter trades, they're doing these things and they're internalizing them, so they're making a killing on them. And this is per every trade in the entire market, billions and billions. Can you see my screen, or do I have to share it again now that
Share it again.
Okay, my bad. All right, and then so another thing too here, one of the last things I'll go over here, unless you got some more questions here. So one of the things I didn't go over on this chart here is this third position where it says it can also go to exchanges now. One of these filings that's coming out, let me grab the number. So I have a WordPad with like 70,000 fucking filing numbers. Here, I found it. So it's SRPX, PHLX 2021-005. If anyone wants to check this out, actually, I probably just pulled it up. All right. So basically, what they're trying to do. All right, whatever. I'll just say what it's gonna do. I don't want to waste your time here. So basically, what that's going to do is they want to incentivize them now to start using these exchanges, so they can go through SIBO and they can start tracking these a lot more. And what they're trying to do to like incentivize it, basically they're giving, the special little incentivizations, of course, so they could still use over-the-counter trading, but they want to sit there and so like right now those flex options have that 5-year expiration date, and if they go through this new exchange, it's basically the Philadelphia exchange. If they start using that, and actually they allow them to go to 15 years and a couple other benefits as well. So basically what they're trying to do is get these things out of ISDA and get them onto these exchanges as well. So that's another thing that's coming up, just so people know. So like I said, they know that this over-the-counter derivatives market is just, like I said, it's the main problem going on. A lot of people think it's payment for order flow, and they're focusing on that. But like I said, man, if you're not going to lit exchange, it doesn't matter. Payment for order flow is a problem, but it's like problem, B, 1B to problem 1A. And 1A, like I said, is the over-the-counter derivative market, and you're letting them do that by ordering through these over-the-counters platforms. And like I said, one of the things too about payment for order flow, if you're on them, Bernie Madoff, one of the first things he did as the NASDAQ chairman, he brought over payment for order flow. And one of the next thing he did, he made sure they ramped up how fast they were doing the technology on these electronic trading platforms like Robinhood. I mean, why do you think he did that?
Because he's greedy.
He's greedy, and he knew he could sit there and steal from us again and make Ponzi scheme 2.0 called the stock market. So, like I said, payment for order flow allows it. Over the counter allows it. Going straight to an exchange is the only way to stop it. I'm telling you. I promise you. But I mean, I'm good, man. I mean, I went through my word pad here. If anyone has any more questions or whatever you want to do.
Awesome, guys. I'm going to open it up real quick in the live chat. If you have a couple questions, I will pick 3 questions and we'll answer them real quickly before I send you guys off on your way. So I'll wait till a question comes up. Franck Zitonk, what do y'all think about the MSCI Index Edition? I was watching that. I'm not expecting anything crazy to come of it, but who knows? It's just another addition to another index. That's all it is. Let's see. Any questions? FTDs, how many this week? Adil, I just gave you the website. I just gave you the website. What is Bigham's price target? Bigham's, you don't need to answer that. Guys, you have to have your own price target. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what anyone else says but you, okay? You have to have your own price target because I have mine, okay? How many shares do y'all have? Oh, my God. How deep is the collusion? I plead the 5th. Let's see. Bigums, you want to answer this? Boxers or briefs?
Gotta go boxers, man. Let that shit hang, boys.
I mean, I'm a briefs guy, man. They feel more comfortable. Are you guys happy in life? Yes, I am. What about you, Bigums?
Can't complain, my friend.
Let's see. Ray, you keep asking the same question. I would answer it, but I don't understand what you're trying to convey there, brother.
What's he saying? What's he saying? I'll figure it out here.
What's going to happen to 400 million shares of AMC if the 100 million already cover?
Where's he getting the 400 million?
Yeah, that's why I can't answer it, man. I don't know how to answer it, brother. I would if I knew how to answer it. Will this be a 1-year squeeze? Nobody knows the answer.
But just remember, if it keeps going, man, the more they got to pay, and eventually we got to pay less taxes. So keep it going. Be patient.
And we'll end it off. Oh, I like that G-America. Yes, sir. G-America, baby. You guys know I like GME and AMC, but I am stoked on G-America. Their earnings date is September 8th. One last question before we go. Bigums, are you Sam's trophy husband or the other way around?
We switch it up, you know what I mean?
And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I love and appreciate everyone. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Subscribe to Bigums on YouTube. I linked his YouTube channel in the description below. Follow him on Twitter. It's at AC Bigums. He's my freaking guy. I got so much respect for him, so much love for him. And hopefully we can do this again, Bigums. Do you have any parting words?
Just thanks for having me on. And yeah, of course, dude, there's so much fuckery to find. We'll be at it again, my friend.
I love you, my brother. Everybody else, have a beautiful night. Peace.
Thanks, guys.